Get ready for wildly unpredictable, emotionally unstable, and grumpy, unproductive Sims. Let's be honest, we kind of love them. We're back to talk more about character values from the Parenthood game pack, except unlike the first time where we looked at raising them and making a successful child, this time we're looking at how to lower them into the negative and make an absolute terror that'll haunt you. Because chaos. Toddlers through teenagers have access to the 5 character values, being manners, responsibility, conflict resolution, empathy, and finally emotional control. And we're going to look at various ways to lower each of them. If you lower these values enough before your Sims become an adult, then they'll gain a negative trait when they reach their adulthood, which is perfect for if you want an adult who's hugely insensitive or who will just generally struggle through life. Let's kick things off by looking at lowering the manners character value. Having your Sim become an adult with this maxed or close to maxed in the red will see them gain the bad manners trait. This trait changes a few social interactions to insensitive versions. It allows your Sim to comment on another Sim's appearance, point out their flaws, unintentionally insult their interests, and unintentionally crush their dreams, all of which will make the other Sim hate you. When Sims with bad manners visit other Sims, their presence will make the host tense too. It's great for if you really have no interest in being popular or you need a dense town villain. Your Sim will also be gross and swear from time to time unprompted and will constantly need reminders to flush the toilet, wash their hands, and clean up dishes after themselves. It's a good trait for a super mean Sim or even one that's a bit of a slob. There are a few ways to lower your Sim's manners character value. For toddlers, child, and teenager Sims, a super easy way is to click on them and then choose to be gross and then either belch or fart, which will lower their manners and can be spammed. Teenager Sims can also be prompted to shout forbidden words or swear, and this will once again lower their manners character value. Again, this is an easy one to spam. Choosing to introduce yourself to other Sims with a rude introduction is also a good way to lower manners. And for toddlers, if they decide to take their clothes off for no reason, then this will lower their manners character value too. Next up is the responsibility character value. Becoming an adult with this maxed or close to maxed in the negative will see your Sim gain the irresponsible trait. This one can be annoying, as it'll mean that your Sims gain a 10-hour uncomfortable +2 moodlet when they go to work. Your Sim's default working style will also be to take it easy, lowering their performance but increasing fun, making it rather tricky to get promoted. To make them work normally or hard, you'll have to actually change that every single time they go to work. Irresponsible Sims also have the option to ignore bills, and if they choose to do this, then they'll gain a happy +2 moodlet for 4 hours, and during these 4 hours, they'll be unable to pay any bills. Once the moodlet is gone, then they can either ignore the bills again for another happiness boost, or if they're feeling off-brand or just really missing electricity, then you can pay them too. Now there are quite a few ways to lower your Sim's responsibility. If kids skip school or teenagers skip school or work, then this will lower it. Toddler and child Sims can also click anywhere to make a mess, and this will decrease their responsibility as well. Breaking curfew is another great way for child and teenage Sims to lower their responsibility. Parents can set a curfew using the family bulletin board, and if child or teenager Sims go out past hours without their parents, then interactions they do while out will continually lower their responsibility, which is a rather good way to lower it quite quickly. Finally, parents with level 5 of the parenting skill can discipline child or teenage Sims' bad behavior by grounding them, choosing to restrict them in some way for 24 hours. If a child tries to be sneaky and break the grounding and they're caught, then their responsibility will be lowered. Basically, having a child that's a bit of a terror and gives no care for punishments is the way to go here. Moving on to the conflict resolution character value, in which reaching an adult with a maxed or near maxed in the red will give your Sim the argumentative trait. This will make socializing for your Sim a little bit more difficult, especially with Sims they don't like. Sims with the argumentative trait are also worse at apologizing and will find that they fail more often. Argumentative Sims also gain the friendly interaction to assert correctness, which often goes south and makes the target Sim cry, and in this case it has a large chance to trigger a negative sentiment towards your Sim as well. To lower conflict resolution, you're going to need to make some enemies. Teenage Sims can lower this by getting into literal fights with other Sims, and both child and teenager Sims can significantly lower their conflict resolution with another Sim by declaring them an enemy. This interaction usually becomes available when your relationship is a little over 50% in the red, but it gives a massive negative boost, so it's a good one to aim for. We're looking at empathy next. If your Sim reaches adulthood with it deep in the red, then they'll gain the insensitive trait. Insensitive Sims are a little bit clueless, and when target Sims are experiencing a negative moodlet, they will have additional mean interactions to question or in some way make fun of or belittle the target Sim's emotions. The target Sim is not going to like this, and they're not going to like you. No, they are not, and this can often make the target Sim very angry too. Insensitive Sims also have access to a mean interaction called Instigate, which will make the target Sim angry or sad, and your relationship with them will take a big hit. Insensitive Sims will also just generally be less successful socially when talking to Sims who are in a bad mood. There are quite a few ways to lower empathy. Performing many mean socials or yelling at other Sims will lower the empathy character value. Trolling on the forum is another great way to lower empathy, which works well for teenagers, and this is a rather easy option to spam, so really go to town being an absolute horror online. If your Sims react poorly to other Sims' negative emotions, such as laughing at their embarrassment, mocking their sadness, or belittling their anger, then empathy will be lowered as well. Successfully snooping in another Sim's private journal is another great way to lower empathy. And now for the final character value, being emotional control. Having a Sim become an adult with this maxed or near maxed in the red will see them gain the uncontrolled emotions trait. This trait will make it harder or much slower for your Sim to relieve their negative moodlets. It will also mean that they experience mood swings from time to time, giving them negative moodlets and often seeing them walk around looking like they wish they were on any other planet. These adult Sims can also throw tantrums, helping them relieve negative moodlets, but at the same time making nearby Sims tense. There are a few good ways to lower your emotional control. One way is by having an emotional breakdown, which child and teenager Sims can action by clicking on themselves when they're experiencing a lot of negative moodlets. Shoving other Sims is also a good way to lower emotional control, and if you're feeling destructive, then smashing dollhouses or school projects is also a great option to lower this character value too. And we've reached the end. That's how to lower all 5 of the character values from the Parenthood game pack, as well as a look into all the negative traits your Sims can get and their effects. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later.